Hey guys, Coach Keith Kepner here. I'm going to do a fight study on Salvador Sanchez. Somebody who, admittedly, I didn't watch a lot with my father when we were studying boxers all the time. You can't study them all, and I guess some people are gonna maybe be upset that I haven't, perhaps, because I know a lot of boxers nowadays are saying that he's one of the best pure boxers ever. And so I went through and studied his last fight of his career against Azuma Nelson from Ghana. And of course, I know of Salvador Sanchez. I've seen some of his fights, but I just couldn't really think of anything that my father and I really watched through like we watched through a lot of the other fighters of this era, before and afterwards. So a great opportunity to do a fight study. I've already watched this fight through a couple times. I have a lot of notes I took on every single round of this fight. So you guys know going into this is not going to be for people that are just pure fans, right? If you're a fan of boxing and that's it, you're not a practitioner, you're not a coach, or someone that wants to understand or be reminded of some of the deeper nuances and catch things and watch a fight with another reasonably educated person in boxing, this isn't for you. We're not going to talk about some cute little whatever or the phantom slash 69 punch that Sanchez does, and then Azuma Nelson does, the voodoo eye wink on him, and this did something, and then he does the Ali shuffle, which actually Azuma does do in this fight, and that's what changed the fight. All that type of frill crap that's out there on YouTube sometimes. This channel, as well as some other great channels on YouTube, don't waste time on that. A little bit about myself, for you guys that don't know: professional amateur boxing coach, and I box in the United States and Mexico. And I was coached by my father, Doc Kepner, who worked with many pro fighters over the decades and amateur fighters. And he was mentored as a coach by Chuck Bodak, who worked with over 50 world champions. And Chuck was the Olympic coach for Muhammad Ali. I've coached boxers going on now for 15 years, and I've had guys fight on national television, built guys up from zero to pro level. So a little bit about me. That's who you're watching this with. For most of you guys, you know who I am. Man, if you don't, now you do. All right, so let's get into it and do some fight studying. Because a lot of us, we don't have good people to watch fights with, right? You got a lot of fans to watch fights with, and they want to maybe just watch Mike Tyson. And not that you can't learn things from like a Mike Tyson fight, the aggression, the finishing, things like that, power punching. We need to watch pure boxing. And of course, like you guys know, a lot of people say that Salvador Sanchez is perhaps one of the best quote-unquote pure boxers out there. And I'll tell you, after going through this fight, which is a 15-round fight, there definitely are some great things here that you as a boxer or you as someone working with boxers need to know and keep in mind. I need to keep in mind with my guys. All right. And sometimes it's not the frills. It's not the frills. Sometimes it's the basic stuff. So what you need to watch out for first going into this round is, of course, the utilization of the jab, but then also you'll see throughout this entire fight, the feints. One thing that Sanchez does do throughout this fight, and perhaps he does it probably throughout most of his career, is he pulls out sometimes, and that leads him to getting caught, at least in this fight against Nelson, who finds a good way to establish the range with a few different things that I'm going to talk about. And as well, notice how Sanchez changes the range on him, right? So yes, he pulls out, sometimes gets caught on that, but also sometimes leans in. And if you mix enough of that in, you are changing the ranges on people, and that is beneficial. And then also something to notice as well is his movement, how he is great throughout this entire fight on circular movement that goes both ways, not just one way. Good counter left hook right there. Also good counter left hook inside of a right hand, right? Azuma pulls back the right hand a little bit when he throws it or in the middle of a combination, and that's what opens up that left hook counter. Azuma kind of flails a little bit with the punches. There it is again. And then the jab circling off the ropes. You can tell that Salvador is very good at knowing where he is in the ring. Azuma, not so much. Azuma, this is only, I think, his 15th or so pro fight, maybe even less. He's not many pro fights into this. Maybe less than that. I should fact check that. But you'll hear Salvador spins right off that rope. See that? And then good weaving under, going down for the body, going back to the jab. Also, too, Nelson does some very good things in this fight. Oh, look at that. Double, triple jab, and then shot the right hand. But what Sanchez did was great there. He got rushed back, but bounced off the ropes, didn't get stuck there, didn't allow for Nelson to unload. That's a brilliant thing. That's something that we all need to utilize. And it's simple stuff like this, guys, and it's easy to overlook it, but this is the art and the perfection of good boxing. All right? Nice with the jab again. There, Azuma goes with the Ali shuffle, right? Not a tactical advantage and nothing much necessary, because it's one of those things too, psychologically, good circling as well. That's one thing you notice is that when Nelson is jabbing, Sanchez circles off as he moves his head, and that makes it harder to land those double, triple jabs versus obviously go straight back like he did initially. Your butt hits on the ropes and they get to come in on you. Nelson also gets a little bit, like I said, wide and flailing with the punches. But sometimes when Nelson gets popped, he'll do the Ali shuffle. You'll notice guys will do things like that to try to show that they're good, but in my opinion, you don't want to have those habits. One thing to think about, and one thing my father trained his boxers on, and I've trained my boxers on as well, particularly when I first started coaching, is the idea of moving around the ring, and then the moment your calf touches the rope, right? So you see Sanchez's calf there. When that calf touches the rope, boom, spin off the rope, spin off the rope. So that's a good little cue, because you can also practice, that's the end of the first round, moving around that ring with your eyes closed, because you should be able to move around that ring with your eyes closed, obviously when you're not boxing somebody, when you're shadow boxing, and then you touch that rope and turn off. But look at how, Sanchez, one of the best pure boxers out there, right? The double, triple jab is problematic for him when Nelson does it. Look at that right there. He didn't have a good counter. He tried to counter, and it wasn't successful. So at the very least, there was enough noise that it shut down Sanchez's work. But at the very most, we could get more combos off of it. Nelson could. And he does as his fight progresses. Going on into round 2. Now, one thing you'll notice is that Sanchez, he slips to that lead side a lot. And that's something that all you guys need to, in my opinion, utilize more. Slipping to your lead side. Nelson kind of slips to his right side more. And again, it's not like it's make or break. You can name plenty of fighters that slip to the rear side a lot and are successful. Plenty. That are defensive and offensive fighters. But with Sanchez slipping to that lead side, he's noticed throwing the left uppercut off of that. We call that the 5 in our number system. The left hook off that, or the left hook to the body. So there's 3 options off of that slip to the lead side. And that allows enough variety that he's going to land some very good shots with that left hand. He really, I think a few times in this fight, maybe he lands a left uppercut. Most of the time he doesn't. Most of the time it's the left hook, but he does try the left uppercut enough. And so if it was there, it would be there. But also it then creates a setup in somebody's mind that they're looking for that. And it makes the right hand either creep forward, or like I said, Nelson gets a little flaily with his punches and goes right, left, right, left, right, left. Also as well, when you notice Nelson throws, Sanchez starts moving, right? Don't just stay put when someone throws on you. When someone starts throwing, circle. Because now they have to readjust their stance while they're throwing. Also, this whole time, while Sanchez is circling, there's a slight readjustment required by Nelson every single moment he's circling. Now notice he's not circling frantically. Right now he's setting down for a second. So mixing in that, obviously, not just being a spaz about it. Looking for the counter, spinning off with the hook. And then he'll change levels on him by bending at the waist. Now one thing, good double jab, right hand by Nelson. Let's go back. Boom. Right? See that? So one of the best pure boxers out there, Nelson goes 1-1-2 and almost catches him with that 3. It's hard to tell with the film. Remember that, guys. If it worked against Salvador Sanchez, it's going to work against your opponent. So I don't want to hear it. Now, granted, if your jab is telegraphed, or if you do that move just all the damn time and not sparingly like Nelson's doing here, yes, then it could cause you problems. But don't forget about the importance of basic stuff like that. And you guys know that watch my content, I go on and on about that stuff, because that was on and on drilled into me by my dad and by Chuck Bodak as well. Start with the jab, finish with the jab, double, triple jabs, feint the jab, and then occasionally mix in other leads. And that's where someone who's kind of pulling out, like Sanchez does, that double jab, triple jab, is a perfect tool to get them. But again, look at the great movement by Sanchez, as well as occasionally settling down, walking to the right side. A little bit later in this fight, or maybe he's already done it, he'll walk to that right side and just flick the jab from there when Nelson doesn't think he's going to do anything, right? He thinks he's just walking and pop, flip the jab off. It's good to master those walk-offs. That's something that, I talk a lot in my different material. All right, let's jump to the next round here. So going into round number 3. Here's a little highlight. What do we got on the highlight reel here? Hook to the body, try the left uppercut, or left hook to the body, left uppercut. Wasn't successful with it yet. Left hook to the body, tried to get a left hook up top and almost didn't get it. And again, one of the best pure boxers out there, look at how he throws his hook. How does he throw his hook? Palm facing him. If you want a good left hook in boxing, that's how you're going to throw it. All right. Now, I know that Nelson's going to go back with double jabs in this round. Going into round 3, there's a double jab circling with it this time. So again, being able to drive people straight back, very important. That was a good jab and bob under by Nelson. And again, great work by Nelson. You know, he's a good fighter and a good test. And if my research serves me correctly, I think one judge actually had Nelson winning this fight. But wait till see what happens at the end. Good left hook down to the body there that time. See, enough variety by Nelson. Because remember, guys, it's not only about studying one guy. It's about studying both guys, what both guys are doing, because both these guys are high level. And, I mean, goodness gracious, you know, if you're going to hang in there with one of the best pure boxers out there, you know, you better be pretty good. And Nelson shows he's pretty good. Gets him back there on the rope right there, combination. But again, Sanchez with the great circular movement. Not running excessively on the bicycle, but just little circular movement. You see Sanchez catching Nelson's jab right there. Trying to get that left uppercut, but it's just not quite available. One thing you would see that Nelson is someone, when he does that Ali shuffle reset, that's a good time to go after him. So look for that in your opponents. When they have those little reset moments, that's the perfect time to attack. As well as, you know, the job of a corner to see those little opportunities where someone's not really in a position. I don't think he would throw a vicious counterpunch from that. One thing to think about is with Nelson is how he generally has his hands higher, but it doesn't mean he generally doesn't get hit. Okay, so that's one of the good left hook to the body, left hook up top. But that's something, you know, Chuck would talk about. Like, it doesn't really matter sometimes where you hold your hands, particularly if you're against a good educated boxer, but it matters where you put them. Now, of course, if you're going against someone like the way I put it, good left hook right hand there by Nelson, and good block and shoot right there by Nelson. But if you're going against someone who has educated punches, then your hands can be up and it doesn't really matter because they're going to find the timing, they're going to find the openings and or create the openings. Good right hand and left hook to the body. Good jab and then pause for a second, trying to control that ring. And see, what makes it difficult is that Sanchez will start moving when the combo goes off. He won't stay there. And that makes it a tricky guy to fight. A lot of times, especially when you're starting to box, but some guys, as they go up even and continue their boxing experience and career, they'll just shut down and stay there when someone throws a combination versus slightly moving as they do so. Good jab by Sanchez. Good jab to the body as well. Right hand, left hook to the body, left hook up top. Attempt of the counter by Nelson. Would have been better to counter with a jab. Don't forget and don't neglect the importance of a great jab counter. Great round right there. Okay, going in round number 4 coming up here. But yeah, so think about how Sanchez slips that lead side a lot. And that is what's going to allow him to land his most telling punches of this entire fight. As well as throw a left uppercut that doesn't always land, but hell, it seems like it would land with the way that Azuma's standing. And also, Sanchez gets jabs to the body a little bit later. Again, good walk off to the right side. And the adjustment, too, is now see how Sanchez is sometimes not always rushing out. You got hit by that jab. Very nice jab. See, double, triple jab again, guys. The basic stuff. Basic stuff. Now, sometimes Sanchez is starting to not only rush out when he gets attacked, but sometimes, again, like I said earlier, he smothers in sometimes. He's doing that a little bit more and also keeping his defense together. Good left hook to the body, left hook up top. And that alone also makes it another factor, another thing. Good spin right there by Sanchez. Another factor that disrupts someone's computer about where you're going to be. Good body shots there because, again, Nelson's going with the high guard. Remember that? You got someone putting their hands up high like that. You see a lot of guys do that nowadays. People act like that's a new thing. See, it's not a new thing. This is back freaking in the late 70s, and this is how it is. Good counters there by Nelson. So this is stuff people have done for a very, very long time, particularly as long as glove boxing has been around. Things were less common, certain things, but most things have been around for a very long time. Good attempt to left hook by the body by Nelson, but again, let's think about setting it up. Needs a little bit more setup. But you'll see how the way Nelson stands is it tells you there's a left uppercut, and Sanchez tries to go for it. Just doesn't oftentimes get it. Good blocking and moving off by Sanchez. Sticks the jab out again. Nelson using two hands to occupy to stop one punch. Not very efficient. Again, taking nothing away from Azuma because, I mean, the man is a freaking warrior and a good boxer. Working on cutting down that ring. Good left uppercut, right hand there by Sanchez, and throwing while the other man is throwing. You got to remember that, like I said, watch for Sanchez. Oh, good. Sanchez got caught stepping out by Azuma. You got to keep your guard together as you do that. Very important. Good right hand by Nelson again. You know, when you're moving and making space, you need to not fall asleep and pay attention, because that's oftentimes when you get caught, and you'll see some big knockouts. Good right uppercut there by Nelson. Got Sanchez in the corner. Good body shot again. But see how Sanchez spins himself out. And he dips in to smother a little bit. And this is a fine tactic. The one thing you got to watch out for is, as he does it, kind of cuffs a little bit behind the head and pushes down. That happens a little bit later in this fight as well. And it's something that I think you see a lot more fighters do nowadays, for better or for worse, not because they're better or worse, but it's just stylistically an accepted thing because of the amateur system and things like that. And yeah, so just watch out for that, because bending hard that way can cause you problems. But it will work because it allows you to smother inside of punches and then also pull out of punches and change ranges without even changing your feet. Good blocking there by Sanchez. Good jab to the body there. Good attempt to jab to the body again as well. There Nelson does his little reset. Trying to get a combo off, but it doesn't get much off. Or it doesn't land much, rather. Circling with the jab is Sanchez. Goes high and low, right? Jabbing the head and the body, which that alone makes him a little bit more of a superior boxer, changing where he's jabbing. Good shovel shot by Nelson. Yep. But you can see with Nelson, you notice it's always right, left. It's always left, right. It's always one side after the other side. That gets easy to defend against a guy that's a high-level fighter, or even not that high-level fighter. Someone just has a lot of experience. And see, so Sanchez can kind of roll with it and block it. And he knows what's coming. And also it allows him to cue up his counters. Good job finishing with the jab. Ready to block that right hand now. He got caught with it earlier, but as a good fighter does, he got caught by that hook. He blocked the right hand very nicely. He didn't catch it, he blocked it. Right there, popped it up again. Left uppercut, he got that one through. Tried to get it again, back to the jab again. And there, Nelson attempts to rush him with that jab. Good body work. Because that's the thing, is you got to try to take the legs out from this guy. Because even though he's not running, he's moving, right? And that's the thing. There's a difference. Good shoulder usage there by Sanchez right there, right? He's square, but that doesn't mean he can't defend things. He can defend things. He gets touched by the uppercut there, and that's part of the lean. So the lean is helping him change levels, but the downside is it does open you for those uppercuts. And again, if someone wants to play a little dirty with you, they can push your head down. Good uppercut by Nelson. Again, making himself available for shots he doesn't need to make himself available for, and he's not setting traps either. Good turn by Sanchez. And back to a 1-2. Basic stuff, but good stuff. Just because it's basic, that's not derogatory to say it's basic. It's foundational, right? Better way to put it. Both guys shoot uppercuts, left uppercuts. Yeah, tries to get that left uppercut again, but he's a little short. Got to get that longer left uppercut going. All right, here we are going into the next round. See if there's a little highlight in this one. Good combos in that last round by Nelson. Better diversity in his combinations. Good left uppercut there by Nelson. Sanchez tried to get that left uppercut, couldn't get it. Slight miss. And then I would love to see the body shot that we saw. Oh, didn't get that one. Thought there was one earlier that almost got through, or maybe did get through. This next round, if I'm tracking correctly, going into round number 6. All right. Going to see a good combo here by Sanchez. 1, 2, 5, and then body. So 1, 2, left uppercut, and then right hook to the body, left hook to the body. Again, Sanchez goes back to the jab and circling, changes his leads up here and there enough. Jabs down and high. Good left hook counter. Stepping back on the attack and try to catch him with the left hook. A good job. Right hand and steps back with the left hook. Shot the right hand and slid back as he shoots the left hook. Great to throw that left hook as an exit punch. And think about as well, I have it in my notes here, but I think it's not till later, but how much Sanchez typically ends with the left hand. All right, whether it's a jab or a left hook. That's good foundational boxing, guys. Body head right there. He shot with the right hand, but spun with it, and then goes right back to the jab again, right back to the jab again, right back to the left hand again. There's sometimes a delay, but most of the time, that jab is what's ending, or the left hand is what is ending a sequence, like there, like there. Why is that? Why is that typically a good thing? There he didn't do it, but why is it typically a good thing? It shuts down counter opportunities from the other man. It also puts you back up in a sided up position. Good left uppercut attempt. Again, so great jab to the body. Someone earmuffing up like that, stab him with that jab to the body very nicely. And again, look at that good circular movement. Good basic circular movement. Good double jab there by Nelson, but Nelson needs to do a little better job of cutting off that ring. Because also, too, Nelson, when he was double, triple jabbing in straight, Sanchez hasn't done anything to take that away from him. Good left hook. Oh, good, nice body work. So Nelson's trying to cut that ring down a little bit, but again, good, there it was. The 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, body. Brilliant combination. And with Nelson's stance, everything was open for that. Everything was open for that. Pull it back right here. So he stepped off to that right side, shot that jab like I talked about. Boom, boom. Maybe the left uppercut wasn't super clean, but everything was open. Against the guy standing like that, shoot a combo like that. 1, 2, lead uppercut, body. How often do you practice combinations like that? And again, think about it. What did he end with? He ended with the left side. The lead side. Oh, good. Body, uppercut. Great combo again. He didn't get the left uppercut, but that's okay. Boom, boom, bam. Nice. And then finishing again with that jab. How often is he finishing with that lead side? Often. That's what makes him a good, pure boxer. Good counter right hand there by Nelson. And some good blocking there by Nelson. Again, there's the chinks in some of Nelson's armor is sometimes not his defense in and of itself. It's not too bad when he's actually defending, but it's when he's throwing. And see, good circle off when Nelson starts trying to unload the bombs. Again, back to the jab. Nice. Nelson did a good job of jabbing and catching and caught Sanchez. Boom, right there. All right, going on into round number 7. Now, one thing is, this is a long fight, but it's good because we get a lot of opportunity to watch these guys. But Nelson standing there and posing too long, that's the problem. That's why that setup happened, because Nelson's standing there against a slick fighter posing too long. That's what you call that. Boom, and gets caught. And when you're watching the replay slow, that right hand just drifted a little bit away as Sanchez dropped a little bit, or drifted a little bit down and forward, and that's why that happened. And then he gets caught in the middle of him throwing. Best time to catch somebody, people are the most open is because you see he's flailing with that right hand. Pulled it back and boom, gets nailed. He was catching him earlier with it, but think about it. The same shot maybe he caught him earlier with one time, he caught him just then because he had already rocked him before that and then had that effect. So 2 knockdowns in that round. Now, Azuma Nelson being a good fighter, look what his right hand is doing and look what he's doing. He's throwing that left hand, and because he knows he got caught trying to throw that right hand. See there, Sanchez tries to get a very nice short left hook, throw it very properly. Throw it very properly. Let's look at that. Right there. See, bent arm, palm facing him exactly like I was taught to throw left hook, like Chuck taught to throw left hook, like my father taught me to throw left hook, like I teach. Very important to have this down, guys. A good, proper left hook. Good right hand counter there by Sanchez. Bam, over the jab. Good job jabbing back by Azuma Nelson, trying to create some space with the jab. Again, at this level, if they can jab, at your level, you can jab. You're not at their level if you're watching this. If you are, you know you can jab still. And that's also how Azuma gets out of this round. If he was flailing with those right hands again, he let that one go, but it's been a long time since he's let it go. He would get caught the same way. He's starting to let it go now. But how long did he go before he let it start going? Good counter there. That's one thing to think about is he took the mind off the right hand by throwing all those left hands earlier, keeping good position. But let's see if Sanchez can place that hook again. Good right hand. One thing, as you'll notice, is that Sanchez is not getting left hook happy. Right? He's going to let the stage get set for the next time. Sometimes when a fighter throws a punch, drops someone with it, he'll gets what's called punch happy. Let's say like left hook happy or right hand happy, and try to keep throwing it, hoping to get the same magic. But sometimes that won't happen. Oh, see there, he got the right timing on it that time. And then he blocks. Very important. How often do you step off to your left side and not be ready to block with your left hand as you do so? He would have got nailed. And he got nailed earlier. Not this time. He made the adjustments. Boom. Bends at the waist, and that allows him a level change and allows him to smother in a little bit with his head. But like I said, he's got to watch on people that don't want to play nice. And one thing as well, think about how Sanchez is also making the adjustment for the right hand after the double jabs. So again, right, this is chess. Every move has an answer, right? Every counter, every offensive has a defensive, and everything. So Nelson's got the 1-1-2. We saw him do the 1-1-2-3 earlier many times, and he was successful with it. Sanchez is a smart boxer, a good boxer. Now he's catching those jabs and has the left hand up to defend against that right hand. Basic boxing defense, and again, basic not being down on it, meaning it's foundational. It's the rock. It's the granite. Back to changing up the movement, moving to his right side. Got touched by that left hook. One thing is that Sanchez will sit opened up, and that's an important concept. Good attempt at the left hook right there. Is oftentimes as a fighter we will open ourselves up, chamber the left hook. Good right hand, left hook right there. Boom. Oh, sorry, right uppercut, left hook. Basic combo. But we'll open up our body to throw a left hook, right? So you're in your boxing stance and you open up to shoot a left hook, and you do open up, shoot right away. You'll see Sanchez, there's a delay. So think about how many factors he has into this mix. He opens up, you don't know if he's coming out with a jab, the left uppercut, the left hook up top, or left hook to the body, and you don't know when it's coming, right? So that's like 4 factors right there. And that timing aspect alone is tricky. All right, let's watch here. This is the posing. Bam. And you see Nelson tried to shoot the jab, and as that response came, that's when Sanchez got the hook off. Let's watch that one more time. Might not be the best angle. I don't know if they have a better angle. But right here, So yeah, so he shoots off that jab, and again, the best time to throw is when someone's throwing. That's when they are the most open. And that's one of the hardest things to get. I know it's so hard for me to get as a boxer. I wanted to throw when they weren't throwing, but if you can throw when they are throwing, you get shots like this off. And it doesn't even matter you got hit by the jab because you got that left hook just that fraction of a second before, and it had more power on it than Nelson's jab. Now here's the flail. So obviously you see the right hand going back there. That's understandable with that big kind of cupping right hand or right hook. But let's take it back a couple steps. So we are right. Yeah, see there. Sanchez tries to go for that left uppercut again. Didn't get it. His head is inside of that right hook, so therefore it cups. And then as he's shooting a left hook, good classic saying, don't hook with a hooker. That's basically what that is. Sure, the hook's landing simultaneously, but one reason why it's working is, yes, Sanchez has the better left hook than Nelson, but Nelson was getting ready to shoot that right hand, as you'll see there, and just didn't get it off. And remember that too, guys, with your counter punches. Sometimes we're worried too much about the return fire after the counter. And this is true, right? We don't need to hit them and not be ready, as you see Sanchez steps out of range. He knew that shot landed cleanly. But if you throw that counter hard, you might have that result, or at least move their head enough that it takes the steam off of their next coming punch. All right, now we're going into round number 8. Gets caught again. See, Azuma, don't hook with a hooker, right? Boom. Very, very, very bad move, especially if he's not setting up with jabs, right? And that's where people talk about don't lead with the hook. It's when, obviously you're going against a good hooker, but also you're not. Of course, he got countered with the left hook with a jab, right? So it's at the end of the day, none of these are all the most complete laws, right? And that's why boxing is an art, not a science. But good classic thing, man. If you're getting caught with that left hook, don't lead with just kind of a lazy left hook. Now, if you see that corner right there, that's Sanchez's corner. And see, now this would happen a lot more right here. This is what it is. So Nelson's hurt. He's probably getting a little bit more tired, just a little bit. And this would happen a lot more in modern boxing. Is it a good thing? No. I'm not saying it's a good thing. But I'm just telling you that when you're bending at the waist hard, like this great pure boxer is, just keep this in mind. Because as an amateur or as a pro, you got someone that wants to be mean, not cooperate, not fight your fight, which most people that are good are not going to fight your fight. Do not bend at the waist as much as you see Sanchez doing. Good walk-offs again. Sanchez, the movement, but it's not energy. It's not energy. He's really kind of almost like walking around while maintaining a reasonable stance. See that little setup and delay left hook? Azuma saw it coming. Good bob under, tried to come up with the left hook again. Good jab to the body again by Sanchez in a 1-2. Circling off to different sides. Shot that jab as he's circling off. Great move to do. Something that you can all put in your arsenal. And again, think about with Azuma, what he can put in his arsenal. That double jab right hand. Triple jab right hand left hook. Basic. We call that classic combination. Good jab and catch there by Sanchez. Again, that's the basic boxing stuff. Pure boxing. Pure boxing, to me, exemplified the most by basic moves like that. Right there. Right there. Basic boxing. You go back to the 1930s, 1920s, 30s, and 40s, which is when Chuck Bodak was doing his thing, and then on to the 50s and 60s, of course. But, kind of the era in boxing that he was raised in. Look at that. That position right there. Pure boxing. Jab and catch. Azuma is not too hot with it. It's not as good as Sanchez. Get as good as Sanchez is with this jab and catch. basic foundational thing. So often I will see guys that they can catch and they can jab. They can jab and they can catch. But they're not going to put those two things together. Learn how to put those two things together and drill it. And it will pay off. Again, Sanchez, the master of movement that is also energy efficient. I love it. Good job using the shoulder, making a miss, tries to go down for the body. Basically controls his head with the left hand. And that's one of those things, like, you could say, like, oh man, you know, that's a super slick boxing move. And like, yeah, that's a frustration move, meaning frustrating Nelson. Absolutely. But man, if you can cup their head, you can hit their head. If he could cup it, this cup right there, he definitely could have got that left hook again. And good job, see, again, with the torso movement, even though I criticized it earlier, it is allowing his head to be closer, further away, lower, and then back to its regular height, which adds variety. And if done from a certain range as well, it's going to be harder for your guy to hold you down. One thing often, though, is I see short fighters bending at the waist hard, and that's where for the taller guy, it's an easy lay down to control them. Nice with the jab. Nice. Good jab, jabbing and circling, stepping out with the left hook, blocking the right hand, coming back with the right hand. Right here. Here. Oh, yeah, block the jab actually with the left hand. So here, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Here. Probably thought the right hand was coming. And just nice, pretty short overhand right hand. Then back to the jab again. Blocking, weaving under, stepping off, changing which way he's moving, which buys him, all that changes in movement buy you more ring. If you move one way the whole time, you're eventually going to run out of ring. But if you change the movement like that, it can ink you out those few more feet in the ring. Let's go on to the next round. If you're liking this so far, guys, click like, subscribe, share this with someone you think might benefit from it, that needs someone maybe guiding them through watching boxing. Maybe they're newer to boxing. It's hard for them to watch fights, round 9. And also, consider buying me a cup of coffee. Great way to support the channel. Or become a level 1 or level 2. You get access to some more content that other people don't get. Also, consider going to the Patreon page and looking at some of the custom boxing programs that you could be a part of. Oh, good blocking right here, there by Sanchez. Here. Blocking, block. And now this is one thing. Oh, I didn't stop it soon enough. But, it's funny. So I saw this and I thought immediately of online YouTube boxing. Man, look at this light. It's going crazy. It's cool though. It's like a party though, isn't it? All right. So, man, I saw this and I looked at this a couple times before I knew it was a knock, down or whatever it's going to be. So here, Sanchez or Nelson puts out that jab. It's kind of past Sanchez's head, and then it kind of gets stuck, and he kind of cups it, pulls his arm out, right, and does a right hook or a right shovel shot for the body. And you look at that, it's like, oh man, I need to practice that move. That's a great move. And this is like a great just capsule, just moment, highlight reel of it's like the Instagram boxing thing of like, hey, I'm going to practice this move. And I'm not criticizing Nelson. Again, Nelson's warrior, massive respect, good pro fighter, everything else. Holy crap. These guys fighting 15 rounds, everything else. Oh, you just can't give enough respect. But just to kind of like on this modern boxing point, right? He does that move. So he goes in here, jabs past, cuffs, right up to the body, and then bam! Gets caught with just a nice, basic, perfectly time countered. And again, because he's right, left, does that fancy move, right, left, and that is what makes him get caught. Sanchez knows after that hand is coming this hand. After that hand is coming this hand. And then after that hand is coming that one. And then boom. Catches him right with the left hook. Almost gets it there, but to Nelson's credit, again, because there's a lot to be credited to Nelson with this, is his shoulder gets in the way. Think about how important your shoulder is for boxing defense. How often do you think about using your shoulders for boxing defense? You shoot a right hand, see, it's exactly what should be preached. You shoot a right hand, your jaw should be protected, just like Azuma's is. He got hit by the first one. He can get hit by that one because of that shoulder doing its job. Importance of the chin down. Azuma tried to get a good left hook to the body there. Good block by Azuma. Good with the left uppercut, right hand. Sanchez is vulnerable for those uppercuts. Good walk off and change of directions by Sanchez. Earlier there was a little bit more feinting. There is a little feinting there. Jab, catch, jab. Jab, catch, same time. Foundational boxing. Man, no cutoff by Nelson at this point, just because of the movement. And that's one thing is, again, Sanchez's ring awareness, great counter there. Sanchez's ring awareness, you'll see the difference. And I think, Nelson's getting hurt in this fight too, so he's losing track of where he's at in the ring. But so he's here, and Sanchez is basically, he is southpaw essentially here, and this shot slides up, and Nelson comes back with that shot. That was good. And good using that shoulder again. You can use those shoulders on either side. It's not just that Philadelphia whatever roll. There's another great left hook there. Here. Boom. Right? Nice. Stepping back a little bit. Stepping back with that left hook. Spun with the left hook. Good job of managing range with his punches. Little steps in and little steps back. Do you see that? Do you see that? We can't see his feet right now, but right here. Right here. Oh, little step back with the left uppercut. Yes, and a little turn. Catch him inside with the left hook. Again, crossing over the jab with the right hand. Leading with the right hand. Jabbing. Catch. Jab. Right hand comes over the top. And as you see, it's not a lot of flash by Sanchez. It's good, pure boxing. And I guess that's why people say he's a great pure boxer. I'm agreeing watching this. Good setup for the left hook to the body. He's here, slips on that side, and smothers. Because right there for that moment, let's see here. Right here for this moment, people talk about framing and things like that. And absolutely, that's a thing. And it works. And it also cannot work. Everything has a work and a not work time. But right here, he's framing essentially with his shoulder, putting his shoulder into him, shutting down a lot of what Nelson can do. At the very least, making Nelson have to recalibrate what he's going to throw. If someone, when they smother in on you, always smothers the same way, you can start making adjustments, right? But if they smother in like this, different ways, it's going to be hard to make that adjustment. Smother in with that rear shoulder like this, and then, boom, come back with that shot. Gets touched with the uppercut counter because he's leaning. And again, too, they're leaning in. A little problematic. Oh, good right cross there by Azuma Nelson. So again, good boxing by this guy right here. This good fighter. It's definitely, I've heard of Azuma Nelson a lot from my dad. But here, coming over the top, got it over that jab. Then right uppercut as Sanchez goes down. Maybe if Nelson would have had more fights before he had this fight, maybe it would have been a different story. I don't know. You never know. And like I said, one judge had Azuma Nelson winning before it ends how it ends. See, Sanchez is actually southpaw here. A little different look. Being comfortable in fighting in any position. And it is important. And this applies to, from my understanding, see, look at this. See, Nelson doesn't know where he's at in the ring. He walks to the wrong quarter. Well, he's getting hurt. But being comfortable in any position, you learn the moves in one stance, but also learn and get comfortable doing things in other positions. Right there. Boom. There's that body shot. And then here's the counter right here. Now, if you notice, too, he sat there for a little bit. Right there. Sat there for just a moment so he could get the right timing on it. So he could throw it at the right time. He's here. See, and this is where Azuma does that thing. Jab, it ends up there. And I'll tell you, I bet, and I promise you, it was not a thing that Azuma Nelson was thinking, I'm going to put out, let me go back just a touch, where Azuma Nelson was thinking, I'm going to put out my jab, and I'm going to jab to the left side of his face, and I'm going to pull his left arm forward so that I can throw a right hook to the body or right uppercut to the body. He wasn't thinking that. What happened is he shot the jab out, and it was out there, and that was available, pulled, boom, and he starts going, and then Sanchez sits there for a second just to get the right timing. Do you see that time change? It's a very subtle nuance, but watch, because he's putting the rhythm to where he needs to get the counter. So Zuma's going, he shoots his shot, he's over here, waits, boom, wait that little fraction of an extra second, throwing a slightly different timing that got him the counter at the right time. And then there he's got the head popping up. Sanchez does as he steps out, gets him caught, and Nelson's working the body hard. Here we are going into round number 10. Hell of a fight. And hell of a fighter, both of them. Good with the double jab and the right hook to the body. Good job again. Didn't quite get the right hand, but great with the double jab. At the very least, the double jab nullifies a lot of what Sanchez is trying to set up. Because think about it, earlier he got caught cold because he was standing there posing. That doesn't happen when you're double jabbing different places, keeping someone occupied. And the one thing that Sanchez needs to watch is that kind of pull-up that he does sometimes. Something to watch out for. Something that got him caught a little bit earlier, but Nelson, see there, Nelson, thank you, Nelson, for proving my point right here. So boom, boom, right up there, over the catch, gets that. But then again, Sanchez so good with that movement, isn't he? Look at that, he knows that rope's there, and he also avoids that ice right there. That ice meaning all that water right there, that lake right there, it's all slippery, and it's like skating on ice. Let's see if someone ends up in that corner a little bit later and ends up being on ice skates. Again, great ring awareness. Look at that by Sanchez. Good job with the jab and left uppercut by Nelson. Even if it didn't land, it's still a good attempt. A lot of these things are going to work on lesser guys. These combos, these sequences. Oh, look at that. Jab, jab, right hook, left hook, right hook. Again, if we could just double it up a little bit on the side, that would be better. Double jab, triple jab by Sanchez. Good circling. Because again, that circling is making him Nelson have to readjust where his sights are aimed, and that little bit of readjustment buys you time, shuts down the offense. Good step out and come back in with the right hand by Nelson. Nothing landed clean there, but good. Being aggressive, it's important to remember why we're being aggressive to also mix in some backwards movement like that so we're not just a punching bag. Because if we're only being aggressive, sometimes we become a punching bag. And again, good economical movement by Sanchez. You roll with that right hand. Again, the conditioning on these guys. Good job slipping and stepping around by Sanchez. So again, slipping and stepping. So he ends up somewhere else in the ring. Doesn't come back on the line, right? People talk about the line a lot. Here's an example, too, of Sanchez getting ready for that right hand. He's ready to catch the jab right there and block the right hand. See that? So he's getting ready for those things. You get hit by something, have those little answers. Good job shooting the left and going under. Jab, catch, jab. Yep, moving the head as he steps around. Keep the right hand up, or left hand up, rather. Nice, good combination. Little pulls, and good job managing range now by Nelson. So you see that shut down some of what Sanchez was wanting to do. He didn't get the hook off, or the hook went, but it didn't get anywhere. See that? Because of managing that range with that jab, that is what you need to be able to do, to be jabbing in and out a little bit. Again, great use of the jab by Nelson. He hasn't had to pay for it. It's hard to pay for it when you got a good hard jab, consistent jab. And if he can do this for 15 rounds, he basically goes 15 rounds, you can do it for 3. You can do it for 4 if you're a beginner pro. 6, 8, 10, 12. All right, let's jump into it. Next round. Round 11? Yeah. Again, good with the double jab by Nelson. Feint low, try to catch him with the hook. So it's good. Good attempt. Jabbing, down low, boom. Sanchez didn't fall for it. Good setup, though. And good with the right hand by Sanchez right here. Made him pay for that jab that time. And that's where we got to have some defense as we jab, like we saw with Sanchez. He has a little bit more defense as he jabs. Doesn't mean just the right hand up on the side of your face. We got to be able to catch as we jab, slip as we jab. Do all these things as we jab. Have all your defensive punches together or all your defensive moves together as you jab. The only thing you can't stop when you shoot a jab, theoretically, is a right hand to the body, maybe a shot to the sternum, or an overhand right, like way over the top, like a right hook style shot. Other than that, everything else, from a same stance fighter, you should be able to stop. Again, bending down by Sanchez doesn't afford him much good. Nelson could have got a little bit more off of that. And see, now Sanchez being disciplined, round 11, putting out a lot of jabs. That's good. Remember that for yourself. However many rounds you're going. Start putting out more jabs as the fight goes on more. A lot of times guys will fall away from the jab. See, look at that. Good. He went back, made space as he was blocking, and then steps off those ropes. Great radar. That calf hits that rope, turn off that rope. Doesn't have to be a hard, energy-intensive spin. It can be that slight maneuver, like I saw Sanchez do, and he walks Azuma back around, spins him back around. Again, great ring awareness, good left hook for the body there. Goes for it again, goes for it twice. Again, the doubling up. You see he doubles up more with a hand than Azuma. And that's one of the many things that makes him a better boxer. Rolled the right hand by Nelson. You see that? I know you guys have been around for a while, you see that, but for newer watchers, let's boom, boom, boom. I already missed it. I rolled under, came back. I saw him roll right hand earlier. Right there. You see it? Right again here. Again, I thought Mayweather was the only person that did a shoulder roll, right? Fortunately, nowadays, most people stop talking about that. But, man, how was the longest time that you were hearing boxing guru people talk about Mayweather being the only guy that shoulder rolled? The film sucks, but right there, watch the roll, shoulder roll. Here, boom, right there. Roll that shoulder with that right hand coming back, weaving under, came back with the right hook. Nice. And spun off the ropes. Got himself in a good position. Avoiding that slick ice right there. See, Zuma's trying to slide him into that. He's not going to let him. Oh, good, good, good. Nice with the right hand over the top. Oh, good left hook there by Nelson. It's right there. Sanchez calf touched the rope, and he's moving forward and back. He's getting touched now. Getting a little bit wild with the defense. Bending a little bit too much. Not seeing things as well because he frankly is bending too much at the waist. Getting a little reckless. But started off that round really well. Perhaps a rally to try to win the round with a jab. Or win the round by jabbing and then finishing off strong, but Azuma wasn't going to cooperate with him. And they're both going to go at it. Again, Azuma, man, all these guys, world-class conditioning. And so slapping with that shot, though, cupping. Here we are. Round 12, I believe. Oh, good. Look at that. Right there. 1-2. 1-2. Works on Sanchez. It'll work on your guy, too. Do it. Then he tried to slip to the inside of the jab, shoot the left hook. Nelson did. Boom. Didn't quite get it. Still a great move. Think about that. He got the 1-2. He didn't go back for the 1-2 again. You know, he gets the 1-2. Then, boom, slips to the inside left hook. Because if you just hit someone with the right hand, now they're thinking about the right hand. Then slip, boom, left hook. Didn't work, as well as it could have, but against lesser people it would have, and maybe a different opportunity it would have. Good turning again, though. Look at that. Nelson's trying to get his attack off, and look how much Sanchez has just turn. Made almost just a full circle, like an oval, and avoided that slick corner. Good jab by Nelson. Oh, good jab and catch right there. Look at that. Boom. He caught it and shot. Caught shot. Azuma tried to get that slip again. Now Azuma jab to the body. That's good. Getting a little wide with the shots, a little flaily with the shots. And that's one of the problems. One of those things that you got to work on. Because you can throw hard shots, but if they're flaily against a good guy, they're not going to land the way you want them to land. They might land sometimes because they're awkward, but particularly going over this length of fight, or even sometimes less a length of fight, you get caught. Good job, step back with a 1-2. Look at that. So here, back, 1-2, steps out with the left hook. Step back, 1-2, step back again with the left hook. Oh, look at that again. Brilliant right there. Here, blocks the hook, gets the hook, steps back again, jabs, circles with the left hook. Great left work. Think about it. Good boxers have good lead hands. How much do you work on your lead hand? Do you work on it enough? I had a DEXA scan done on my body where I got to see bone density. And I'm right-handed, but my left arm is more dense. There's more bone, more muscle. And it's because of the time that I did boxing. And I didn't even box that freaking long. But because I had a good coach who had a good coach, that's what the focus was developing that lead hand. Nice with the defense as he's moving. Sometimes when you move, it's easy to forget your hand defense. Like you guys know, you got to integrate those things together and shadow box it. So many people don't even shadow box their defense. Obviously, they shadow box. Oh, great counter there by Sanchez. And was that a jab or a left hook? Hard to see. Oh, gets hit by that. Man, somehow I missed that sequence. I don't know what it was. I must have looked away or was looking and taking notes. And I missed where he ran to that corner one time. So I guess both these guys are going to be even running to the corner. Oh, good. Right here. Nice. Right uppercut, left hook again. And then that shoulder comes into play. Right uppercut, left hook. There, use that right shoulder to stop the left hook counter. Jabs off. Good job going down for the body and the head and then weaving back under. Great work. Okay, now we're going into round number... But yeah, shadow box your defense, guys. Catching, blocking, moving, slipping while you're moving. Put all those things together. You don't want to just stand in one place to use your hand defense. You don't want to only move your feet and not be able to use your hands. You don't want to only move your head, not move your feet, or be able to move your feet, not want to only move your head, not be able to use your hands. Use all those three things together. And then a fourth thing, be able to punch off of it, in the middle of it, while you're doing it. Here we are, round 13. Lucky 13. Again, look at that, walking off. You know, not moving in the standard boxing way that you would teach a beginner, but not that crazy off of it either. He's not severely crossing. He's essentially always in a position to punch, even though he is technically walking off to the right side. Nice with the counters again. Master of timing. That was just a balance thing. Shot a big shot and was off balance. Good double jab there by Nelson. But again, think about how much Nelson, yeah, see there's that bending down at the waist. Like I said, more modern guys would have done that more. Nice, good hustle there by Nelson. Left hook to the body, mixing some uppercuts. He tried. There you go. But yeah, the punch delivery is a challenge, meaning, like I said, a little flaily with the punches, Nelson is. And the variety of combos. The combos just turn into hook city. And you got to mix up the middle, you know, above, down low, around. Good work there by Nelson there. Doubling up. It's helpful. It works. Good with the uppercut there, hook. Nice. It's good that Sanchez tried to run him into a shot right here. Boom. Almost got it. Didn't quite get it. So boxing is a game of inches. Spinning off the ropes again. Walking him back. Try to go down for that body. Gets hit by those uppercuts too much because of that position. And at least if you're down there, let's catch those uppercuts a little bit more. Nice. Good job bobbing under. Left uppercut right hand by Sanchez, and he's ready to try to block the counters. Again, putting that head in there, man. If you do that, you're going to get hit by uppercuts just like Sanchez is. Good job with the pull out. Now, that's one thing. Is like if you're going to put that head in there, be ready to do that. And then let's counter after that. You know, I know you guys seen a lot of guys do that. Here, whoop, bam. But he's using his little bit of a range disturbance. There, Nelson's being a little more disagreeable. When someone's bending at the waist like that, it's easy to do that. Oh, good body shot. And that was a very good one as well. Good one for you guys to right there. Yeah, go back 2 steps. Right there. You're stuck like that. You have your left hand up on the side of their face like that. I'll see guys in this position. Keep it there, and then as you remove it, try to get it. He didn't quite get it. It ended up, because of Sanchez going into it, it ended up cuffing and going around. That's the benefit of smothering a punch in. All right, that is the benefit. He could use his legs to do that. He used his torso to do that. But I would like to see you have that left hand up there, essentially kind of quote-unquote framing someone, and then replace it with the right hand. And if they're not as slick as Sanchez, you might nail him. Ooh. All right. Going into round number 14. Good left uppercut. Came back with a left hook at the end of the round. Very short left hook. Ooh, man. Left uppercut. Again, he who's doubling up more with more variety. Up and around, around and up. Low and high. That's one of the deficits. That's one of the differences between these two guys. Then also the timing. Sanchez's timing is better. His movement is also more varied. And it's those things, along with a whole lot of qualitative things that you can't really quantify. Of course, Nelson is a complete warrior. Did I say we're going into 15? My bad. It's late. And again, I've already watched this fight through a few times. Kind of abandoned my notes. But I do have some ones to finish out here. I know we got some good things in round 15, so make sure you stick around for that, guys. And again, if you're enjoying this, buy me a cup of coffee. You go down to the bottom there, click that heart with the $ super thanks. Consider becoming a channel member. You get access to more content that only channel members get access to. Then also go to my Patreon page, and there you have options to get trained by me. I'll write you custom programs, as well as there's some straightforward programs there that are for anybody, and depending what your budget allows for. But with those custom programs, I will work with you to set you up something that maybe you're in an area where you don't have a good coach around. There's a lot of areas in the world like that, a lot of areas in the United States like that, and you need somebody. Happy to be here and happy to help you. There's a great community here. Good hustle there and it's good avoiding, even though he's getting attacked, good avoiding that slick corner. He got caught that one time. I was a liar. Somehow I missed him get caught, but see, now Nelson is going to walk, I think, this round back into that corner. Could look at my notes here. Yeah, he does. Yep, there he is, stuck right in the corner and stuck there for a little bit. Slipping. And it's hard to produce power, man, when you're on a slick canvas like that. When it's all wet. Yeah, see that? Yeah, I think both the guys are like, let's get the hell away from that corner. But Sanchez walks him back there a little bit to it, getting him on the ropes. Oh, nice. Making him miss the right hand, then coming back with the jab. The jab is such a great counter, both by a short boxer and a long boxer like Sanchez. There it is again with the head diving down. You will see a lot more of that. Again, certain guys nowadays. So I recommend you can utilize it. I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen every time. You can utilize it, but also be able to not do it. My trouble is a lot of guys that I'll work with, they'll start bending at the waist just as a habit. And then I got to break it out of them, because pretty soon people just start controlling them, pushing them down like that. And it's burning the clock. And unless we got ahead a lot, it doesn't give us a chance to get ahead. Good combination there by Nelson off the ropes. Mixing in some of that variety. Left hook to the body, right uppercut. That's a great combo. Boom, boom. Great combo. We need more combos like that. Azuma, and then he fights off the ropes. Brilliant. Man, right? What conditioning by both men. What conditioning. As my dad would say, back when men were men. All right, here we are. Round 15. The last round, the championship round. It's also, too, where it's hard to compare fighters nowadays versus back then, because obviously you can only be as good as your era is and your division is in a lot of ways. But then also, it's like, hell, even the championship fights being 15. And good flurries there. Look at that. 15th round. And you in round, nice counter by Sanchez. You in round number 3 are not putting this much out. So remember that if you're an amateur. Oh, man. Great with the 1-2. Boom, boom. All right, right there, gentlemen and ladies. Right here. Let's watch that again. Did I skip it? Here we go. Boom, boom. Right? And that jab, kind of that throwaway jab. It's not a do-doom. Right there. That half timing. And then goes right down for shovel shots for the body. Comes back up top with the left hook. Brilliant stuff, guys. You must do this stuff as a boxer. Have that nice sharp 1-2. Shovel shots for the body. Comes back up top with the head shots. Mixing in the left uppercut and the left hook. Comes back with the straight shots again. Goes back down to the body again. He's not headhunting. He's going both places. Absolute must, guys. If you want to be a good boxer, do stuff like that. Put your punches together like this. And if he can do it in the 15th round, you can do it in the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th or the 6th. And like what Nelson's doing as well. Ooh, Nelson got a little rocked on that. But look at that great movement there by Sanchez as he's throwing. Slightly steps off to the left. Boom. Jab. Spends a little bit with the left hook. Steps back over as he, with the left hook basically. Throws the left hook. Lets the momentum swing him over to his right side. Oh, and then gets caught with, catches him with the left hook. Look at this. Boom, boom. Bam. Beautiful left hook. Goes down again. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. What a fight. And see, Nelson's out on his feet. You can tell by his legs. When the legs start locking, right there, see that lock? He's done. He's done. Valiant effort. And like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. Some people fact check me, and I appreciate it. I'm not too big or special or got too much ego to not get fact checked, because we all misquote things. But I think one judge actually had him ahead when this happened. So it was a good back and forth fight, man. Would have loved to have seen a rematch. Of course, unfortunately, that didn't happen. And unfortunately, Salvador Sanchez did not get an opportunity to live as much life as most of the people who are watching this have gotten to live. You got to be a champion and everything, so you could say he got more life out of the years he was here, which is how our lives should be, right? Doesn't matter how long you live, but how much life you put into the years that you do have, because you never know when they're over. But let's watch. Yeah. What I want you to see is some of the things on the left hook. Okay, so cool. So we see here, this is the left hook. Let's look at Sanchez's left hook. Long left hook, right there. You see how that glove is? The palm is facing his head. Palm is turned into him. Elbow is slightly below the fist. That is what you call a good left hook. At least the way I was taught it, and the way that it was taught to my father, and the way that I teach it. And I see you see time and time again, good left hookers, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, throw it like that. And that does that. If you want to make your left hook better, throw it like that. Doesn't have to be the same height. The elbow is the fist. No, throw it just like that. And one more thing, because people have said, rightfully so, and they are right, like, do you need to pivot on every punch? No. The most important thing is you throw your body weight behind your punches. That is the most important thing. Now, so let me go back here to this. So do you need to pivot on every punch? No. But can pivoting on a punch help? Yes. Yes. There's a reason why baseball players pivot. There's a reason why golfers pivot on their foot. Okay? So again, now, is it something like, dude, you're going to have no power if you don't pivot? No, that's bullshit. It's not true. But it is helpful. So it is helpful to learn how to throw a punch with maximum power while not like swinging over too much and losing, weight off a leg. It is good to do. All right, to learn how to throw very hard while maintaining balance. Let's watch Salvador Sanchez on that left hook that did that job. Let's watch his left foot. Okay, so you see where his left foot is, right there at the bottom of the screen. Sorry, that little red thing's in the way. All right, so he's here. Now watch. See the foot turning? Do you see that foot turning? Do you see it? It is turning, and it turns, and he swings that hook through. Okay, it's not that he just lifted up on the foot. He did turn the foot, okay? Because it went from being here, it lifted up, and it turned. That is just a little bit of that assistance of the hip rotation. Now, don't get me wrong. You can get hip rotation without that, 100%. And you can show me right now perhaps thousands of left hooks where that's not the case. But I'm telling you, here's a good case example, because I see a lot of case examples of the contrary, like Canelo with his left hook, and that's fine. He gets power with it. If he hit me with it, he would knock me the hell out. Yes, 100%. But this is a good thing to know how to do to turn on that lead foot. Trust me. All right. Now, if you enjoy this video, guys, again, click like, subscribe, share it with someone you think might benefit from watching 15 rounds of good, solid boxing with a friend or with a coach. And If you want to support the channel, become a channel member. Consider buying me a cup of coffee. Go to the bottom, click that super thanks with the heart and $sign. Coach Keith lives off of coffee. And then also, if you want me to work with you and help you get to the next level, whatever level you're at right now, whether you're a total beginner and you want to fast track it, intermediate, or maybe you're at various stages of early in your pro game, I can give you programs that are going to help you get you past some of the stumbling blocks and turn those into stepping stones that you need to be successful. All right. Now, am I the only person that you can get it from? No. There's plenty of great coaches out there. And if you got one around, use it. Because having that coach, it's like many people say, and I was talking to someone the other day, you can have you can have someone that knows a lot about boxing, but to have that person that's your coach, that's your corner or whatever, that really knows you is invaluable as well. And sometimes it doesn't matter how much they know, because I see all the time where fighters with coaches that don't know that much, right? And then sometimes I see fighters with a coach that knows a ton and is a great coach, and the fighter sucks. This is what's so beautiful about the sport, because it's not up to your coach, it's up to you and what you do in that ring on that night, just like we saw with these two guys. All right, guys. Have a great day or evening whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you on the next video.